Welcome to my manga. I am Agent Manga and Ragnarok. I have been waiting for the chapter to come out. I am so hyped for this one. What I read like the previous chapter, I'm gonna be reviewing 42 and 43. 42 came out a few days ago, although I learned that 43 was just going to come out in a few days, so I just decided to wait to make my review, and I guess a few other people have. And I love these chapters, especially the second one. It's one of my favorites. This chapter is amazing, and these chapters really flip. Well, the last one flips most of the assigned part of the series. I'm just gonna get to it now. We start off with Shiva winning the fight against Raiden, and basically everybody celebrating, and Shiva's like, "Fuck yeah, I won!" And I like this chapter. Sorry about that, my camera basically nearly died for a second, so I had to do a bunch of stuff. And I love these chapters, starting off, Shiva won, and Shiva's raising his last hand even though he just lost half his limbs. And also, it looks like one of his, the arm that Raiden crushed, it looks like I guess it just fell off, because all the arms are removed. But it's just a whole bunch of stuff, and we get all the Hindu gods basically being yeah, Shiva, you're the best, and his wives are all happy. And I guess, well, first question, this is the first winner who's really taken really significant damage, losing limbs. The only times that somebody has lost a limb in this series is that they've lost. So Shiva, is there gonna be medicine gods or that type of stuff? And that's just my question. And plus Ares is speaking out of his ass, basically being, oh, if Raiden hadn't have used his fighting, his sumo, he probably would have won. And as normal, Hermes says, you're fucking wrong. If Raiden had just went all out, bare knuckle, no rules going, he would have lost, because Shiva is the best brawler in all of heaven. So basically, he's good at just basically going random with attacks, but he's just really good at that. And with Raiden's techniques, he was able to equal the abilities of Shiva. Even with his insane strength, he would have lost. He would have lost if he had have just gone normal techniques, just going for a punch, kicks, use none of his training. And Hermes says that if he hadn't have used the techniques that he had trained for years to the sharpest point, he would have lost quicker. I mean, well, it would have been easier for Shiva to win. And then all the sumos are basically sending Raiden off, basically being, Raiden died, and he wouldn't want us to just be bawling and crying. That's not how he wants to send off. We are going to send him off properly, and I love this. It's one of the top send-offs of the gods. I love Lu Bu's send-off. All his men are without Lu Bu, there's no reason to even be in heaven. Bring it, Thor. And Thor's I respected Lu Bu, so this is an offering. You guys are Lu Bu's offerings, and I love that. That is in my top 10 moments in all of Ragnarok. That is up there. It might even be top ones. Jacket and a whole bunch of stuff is this series has great moments, but like these moments of like respecting the dead, and Shiva gets respect for humanity from this fight. I've noticed that every single fight in this series, the person gains respect for the other side. Like, Zeus is good in this chapter, is basically like, I respect Adam, I respect humanity, but I don't want to lose this tournament. I don't like losing at all, which basically does kind of sum up Zeus. He hates being belittled at all. He's very arrogant, and that is Zeus. So that is very much Zeus. And that's the reason why I'm pretty sure if this tournament wasn't going on and he just fought Adam, he would be like, I'm pretty sure that these humans are alright, and might rescind his vote. And Shiva was one of the guys to first say, no, screw humanity. They've been ruining the world. How about we just get rid of them and start again? And like, and with Shiva changing his mind, that means that there might be like a recount, a revote. Like, I'm saying that the gods could possibly overturn their decision if enough of them just decide, nah, humanity's alright. And all the sumo, getting back to the chapter, sumo send off Raiden. Everybody's crying. His mother is like, I bet she feels like it's her fault Raiden's dead, which he was already dead, but this is dead. And I'm pretty sure that everybody, I'm not happy that she's sad for her son, but there's just one thing I would have liked to see in like the Jack versus Heracles fight, like Jack's parents realizing what happened to their son. Like, I would have liked to see that, like his mother realizing, that's my son. That would have made that chapter a whole lot better. We do get to see Jack in this chapter, who's my favorite character. Jack is my favorite, and Buddha just gets in my top 3 automatically. It's Jack, Adam, Buddha. And getting to the chapter, Shiva just walks out of the ring, really busted up, and then she sees Rager, his best friend. He runs to him, basically saying, hey, or probably gonna punch him in the face. I could see him go either way, but he just like passes it out because he just took a beating and lost 3 limbs. So Shiva's just like, it's good to see him, man. It's been so long. And then like all the other Hindu gods show up and basically say, hey, you are such a pain in the ass to deal with. Why you? I still can't believe you're our king, basically. And then Zeus shows up being like, hey Sonny, that wasn't too bad. The humans are a lot tougher, basically, than you thought. And like Raiden says, humanity is crazy good. Basically being like, Shiva gains respect for humanity through Raiden. It's not like he gains respect. Like, the only way that these gods are going to respect humans is through the fight against humanity. And I love that. It's like, I love like the trope in anime, like these people are fighting and they gain a connection, like learning about each other, like learning through combat. Even though you're enemies, you still gain a connection. I love that in the series. And I love it in this one. Every character gains respect for every other. And then we get to like the Valkyries, and then the little one who seems really upset about her, like Throg. I think it's Thrud. And she's like, I always wanted to be strong like you, Thrud. And Thrud's like, aw, you're cute, so don't be like me, or men will just run away. Because, yeah, she is pretty terrifying, as big and buff as she is. And even though she does say to her that, hey, if I ever met a man I fell in love with, I would want to be with him for the rest of my life. And that is what happened to Thrud. So basically, she got her wish come true. It's bloody sad, but I'm happy for her, basically. And like, she is taking a lot more on board, but it's still affecting Brunhild, I definitely say. I bet she feels like she has to be the pillar of strength. If she falters for a second, everything falls apart. And her little sister is just like, why do we have to protect humanity at this cost? And I bet she's not thinking too clearly, because she's lost like 3 of her sisters in like a day. So this is probably a rough time for her. I'm not saying Brunhild is having a good time either, but she is probably having a hard time. And she just keeps breaking down, and Brunhild is just listening. And then Brunhild brings up Adam, basically. Do you really need a reason to protect your own? He said, does a father need a reason to protect his family? I loved that is my favorite line of the entire series. Brings up Adam. A little bit tweaked because she's not the father of humanity, but it makes sense. And like Brunhild, she is taking this all on board. Like Raiden, Adam, Lubu, her 3 sisters, Heracles. Like, this has not been easy on her. But I bet she feels like if she falters for a second, everything falls apart. And she just has to be the pinnacle. She goes back to the tomb and basically makes a shrine to Raiden. And I just love this. When she's here, she always just breaks down, being like, I bet she's thinking, what the hell am I doing? Is there even a reason for this? And I just love it. She has to be the pillar, but when she's alone, when she feels like she's in a safe space, she breaks down, and she's not like this unfeeling character like we thought she was. She is an emotional character, and she is played for comedy sometimes, but she is trying to save humanity. Like an entire species she's trying to save that might not even be worth saving. And she is losing people close to her. And she doesn't even know if it's worth it, I bet. But she is trying her best to protect humanity. And I love that. She's the pillar that needs to be strong, or there is no real strength. Then Zeus goes to Valhalla next to this tree to find the next fighter in round 6, which is Buddha eating chocolate. And I love this scene. It's funny. I love it because both characters are mischievous, but both characters do know what's going on and are serious. Like Zeus is like, humanity lost in round 5, but they were pretty impressive. Again, like in all the rounds, they've been pretty impressive taking on the gods. And then Buddha just keeps eating his chocolate. And Zeus is like, give me one. And like, Buddha just takes the entire basket of chocolate and moves it away from Zeus, and he's like, and I just love it. It's like, Zeus is trying to grab it, and I do kind of see that, yeah, they're screwing around, but this does kind of show me that they are around the same level of strength. And then I love this scene. I just find it hilarious. Like this one panel, it's like Buddha has put all the chocolate in his mouth. It's like his bottom teeth are like weighing. I don't know why I find this fucking hilarious. And like Zeus is like, hey, you could have given me at least one. I don't know why I love this scene. It is hilarious. And then Buddha is like, what was your reason to come here? Because Buddha knows that it wasn't just to get chocolate or to talk to Buddha. There's a reason. And Zeus is like, could you fight in round 6? Basically being coy about it. He's like, why was I here? Could you fight in round 6? And like, Buddha's like, sure, I'll fight in round 6. This is to the next chapter. Buddha's like, I'll fight in round 6, and we get the explanation that Zeus doesn't want to lose, because if the gods lose, that's very bad on him since he's the head god. And Loki and Buddha's like, sure, I'll fight. And then they send off an aura, and then Buddha basically hugs Zeus. I do feel like they are friends. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like they're friends. Like, there's a connection there that wouldn't just be there. And then the youngest sister, Grood, I think it is, Grood? She goes to the infirmary, and it seems like, I think all the doctor gods are looking at Shiva, because that guy needs some help. Because he's just been damaged significantly. And Thrud is not Thrud, Groon. I'm just gonna call her Grill. Well, she's just looking around for like band-aids or something, and she finds 3 of the 7 lucky gods basically being the guy who basically pulled the gun on Buddha and then got a lollipop stick in his hand for it. I like Buddha in this series. He's at the end of this chapter. He's in my top 3, and he hasn't had much screen time. But Buddha's the best. And Buddha is like this 7th lucky god says something that I really like. I don't know why I like this so much, but it's basically, next time I see that guy, I'm gonna shatter him into so many pieces that those monks won't even have enough to collect the relics. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know why, but I find it funny that, I don't know why, I can't even explain it. It's just funny to me. And like, Grood is doing something really she shouldn't be, but I can't blame her. She's still pretty young, and is just like spying on the 3 lucky gods, and then yeah, the 4 lucky gods show up, basically being, what are you doing, eavesdropping? And then we see Bishamon, who, I'll get to the end of the chapter and I might talk about him. And he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, nothing, I'm just looking for some band-aids. And she falls into the room, and then the other 3 lucky gods who she was spying on, well, not spying on, eavesdropping on unintentionally. And she's like, I'm screwed. I'm a Valkyrie, a half-god, versing 7 gods of luck. I just need help. And then like the best, one of the greatest scenes in this chapter. I love this chapter. We get Jack. Jack is back, and he's just like quoting Shakespeare, basically being like, basically being passive aggressive like Jack is. Like, he's a gentleman, but he is threatening, is terrifying. And he's just like, because of the fight against Heracles, his hands are all bandaged up. He's not wearing all he's wearing is like normal shirts and pants and his shoes, so he's not all dressed up like he was during the fight, but he's just like, I like this look of Jack. And plus he does kind of look more ripped like this. That's the way I can describe it. He looks more built, like with the band-aids on him, and just like his normal, wearing like a normal shirt and jeans. And then he offers like, do you want some black tea? And Jack would be very intimidating to these gods, because they were intimidated by Sasaki because he killed a god, and Jack is another god slayer, basically. That is his title, Jack the God Slayer. Okay, let's look at his titles. Jack the Ripper and Jack the God Slayer, basically. He is intimidating, and this is really cool, because you get like, he's intimidating, but he's also very elegant. He's passive aggressive, but you won't do anything. And like Bishamon, who walks away with the 7 lucky gods, and then Jack, Grilled says something that Jack finds interesting, because she says, oh, those 7 lucky gods, and what's terrifying, and Jack's like, how many did you say there were? And Grilled says, 7. And Jack uses his like eyes, he uses his eye to see like, there's something off about the lucky gods, like there might be an extra god, or there might be like one missing. And he's just like, want some tea, young lady? And like, Groot is like, I bet she's feeling a lot of emotions right now, because he was the one who killed her brother, Heracles, and we saw how she felt after Heracles' death. She was breaking down, and she was all mad at Jack. But she did. I bet she's just confused about how she's feeling. I get that. She just doesn't know how to feel. Jack is literally the guy who killed her brother. But, like, Jack respects Hercules a hell of a lot. In fact, I think he's... Basically, Jack is kind of getting a little bit of a redemption because of Heracles, and is going to go out throughout the series. And Jack offers her some tea and maybe some help. And she says, hey, you should take care of yourself. Maybe wrap yourself up. And, like, she reminds him of Heracles. And I don't know if I'm going to say this, if this sounds weird, but I think Jack fell in love with Heracles. Not like a lover falling in love. I think that Jack fell in love, like, to Heracles, like a sibling. Like, he was like maybe like a parent or a sibling. That's the type of love I think Jack fell for Heracles. I know that sounds weird, but it's just like he sees he was the first person to show him true love, and I think Jack felt like Heracles was his brother, maybe like a father figure, like that, and you feel it was really bad. Will just takes a whole bunch of stuff to go take to Brunhild, and Jack's like, what a shame. I'm sure Jack has been like watched the last fight with Raiden and probably enjoyed the fight, but he's probably been like all bandaged up, or if not passed out. And I do say he's going to fight later on in the series because of what Buddha does in this next part, because Buddha is a mad lad. First of all, we got Heimdall basically running off the fight so far. 3 wins to the gods, 2 wins to humanity. And the next fight, we basically get kind of Buddha's backstory. So, Buddha was a human, like, think of Buddhist mythology, basically the explanation of the first Buddha. That is what this is what Buddha is, basically. He was born to royalty. He basically gave it all up to basically give an enlightenment, and he was a mortal who when died became a god. So he's kind of like Heracles but different. He became a pure god while Heracles didn't have to go through the trials. I don't know the best way to describe it, but Buddha is basically, he comes out wearing the same outfit, chewing gum, and with a club. I don't know exactly what this is. It's like a stick with a big metal, I'm guessing gold thing with inscriptions on it, and Buddha is ripped, just wearing his tank top and all that. And then like all the Buddhists are like praying, being like, a few of them then realize, oh wait, I'm praying to the wrong guy. I'm literally praying to the opponent, which isn't a problem because Buddha is insane. Because Buddha basically grabs the gum, throws it at Heimdall. It lands on Heimdall. Heimdall comes to basically yell at Buddha. Well, no wait, let me set the scene. Heimdall has just called out all the stuff about Buddha. Buddha keeps walking, even further beyond where he's supposed to be walking, and like people are thinking, is that Buddha's free time? And probably worship it, doing something. And like Heimdall's being like, hey, you're going too far. And like Buddha's like, I need to throw this gum out, and throws it at Heimdall. Heimdall basically comes over to basically give him a talking to. Buddha steals his horn and basically says, testing, testing, is anybody there? And is basically being like, I'm going to fight for humanity. And everybody's like, I love the reactions to everybody. Like, even, like, you get like the normal reactions, like, you get like all the gods being like, what? And all the Buddhist monks being like, And then, like, my favorite reaction is just like Hermes. I'm going to take off my glasses just to show you, like, he's like, you got Ares right beside him being like, all, like, Hermes in this series has been like, cool, calm, collective, couldn't give less, knows everything, and I just love this. Like, Hermes is like, what just happened? Like, even his skills and all that. No, it basically being the explanation for like Ares and Hermes are the two characters who basically explain everything in the series. But like Ares gives like an example of being like, maybe something's like this, and then Hermes is like, no, you're wrong, it's like this. That's what it's been like throughout the series, and like everybody is just like surprised. Brunhild barely reacts, but Groot is like, what? And like every god is like, what the hell, you asshole? You're on our side. You're a god. Why are you fighting for humanity? And this really, really shakes things up because, in fact, I'll get to it at the end after the chapter, but like Buddha says, basically, I'm gonna fight for humanity to save it, which Heracles should have done. But like Buddha is like, any god that comes up against me, I'm going to kill them. My thoughts were that, yeah, Buddha was going to fight for the gods and then be like, I don't know what Buddha was going to do, but Hercules thought that he could try to recount the vote. Buddha is just being like, no, I'm going to help humanity out. And this really shakes things up because then, like, a lot of stuff that's been set up has just been, like, flipped. Because, like, Buddha, my man, is a god, so the gods team has just lost a fighter. Humanity has gained a fighter, but there's only supposed to be 13 rounds, so are the gods going to have to replace a Buddha in the fighting? Like, the gods are going to have to replace Buddha. And humanity, one of the humanity's fighters are going to have to be kicked out. Like, maybe, hopefully not my boy Nikola Tesla, because I want to see him fight. Like, I want to see Nikola Tesla, like, shooting off electricity. That's my headcanon, and my favorite fight would be Nikola Tesla versus Beelzebub. That is my... But Buddha, I don't even think he needs he doesn't need a Voland, so he can... So, it won't be like a Valkyrie needing this, so that means one of the Valkyrie... That means, like, I'm hoping Groot doesn't have to become a Voland. Because, like how I was trying to figure it out, like, throughout the series, I've been like, so, Groot is going to have to become a Voland, and she might die, and Brunhild's, like, the main character, so I didn't think she was going to fight until the end, and then she might die. Like, Groot might be the one before her, so now, Groot might not even have to fight, because I like Groot. She's like naive, she wants to protect humanity, but she doesn't know how to deal with it. She's very young, and I don't really like killing kids, and stuff. It's okay if they die, if it adds to the story, but I really like her. She's adorable, she's kind of comic relief, and I just like her as a character. She's just adorable. And, I just like, this changes a lot, because God's gonna have to find an extra fighter, because I was thinking, like, I've thought about multiple times that maybe, switch out the roster, maybe, I just thought of this. Hades! This might be the way to get Hades in! Fuck yes! Like, Hades is my favorite god in all of mythologies, and this might be the chance to get him in! Like, Hades... or maybe Athena, or maybe Ra? This is amazing! Like, Buddha has just flipped the tables because a god is fighting for humanity. Maybe a human could fight for the gods. Maybe I never really thought about the fighter, but maybe a human could betray humanity and fight for. Maybe there could be some type of stuff where humanity decides. Maybe the gods are like, so if Buddha's fighting for you, maybe we should take one of your guys. Like, maybe that could work. I'm fine with that, but I'm fine with just like the gods having to. Like, the entire thing has to be restructured, like, remove a fighter, and, like, put a new fighter in. Like, I like this. Because I was theorizing, like, is Buddha, like, a human who became a god, like Heracles? It seems to be a different way that Buddha became a god, but he was a human who became a god. He started Buddhism. I love this chapter, it's amazing. Buddha has basically flipped the tables, and, like, Buddha is on the sides of humans, and I think he is the one who taught the Valkyrie how to use Voland to become the weapons to help humanity fight. And I don't think Buddha needs a Volan to fight, so humanity is all clear for that. This fight, I wonder who's going to be fighting Buddha. My thoughts are Bushimon. Like, Bushimon was clearly against Buddha and Loki. Those guys, or maybe even Odin, I was thinking. Those three are the ones most I think are going to, but let me get out some other guys who might be fighting. Maybe Anubis, maybe Beelzebub. I love Beelzebub, I want to see him. Maybe if one of the humans betrayed, maybe Rasputin, maybe like the sniper guy, I don't know, maybe Hades, my boy Hades. Like, this wasn't planned. Like, I don't think any side has the gods have backup fighters. They probably do have people who they can put in to fight, like to replace Buddha, but I wonder which human fighter will be kicked out, most likely, to put in Buddha on their side. And I love this. I love this. Buddha, like, I'm pretty sure that the writer realized that, yeah, after a while it might get a little tedious. Maybe the writer was like, maybe we could get like a big switch up, because Buddha has clearly not really been on the god side. Like, the gods don't really like Buddha that much. People liked Heracles, but still, Heracles was on the human side. We got two people. And my most likely thought is, for a human going to the god side, is Rasputin. I don't know why, but I just think he's the best choice. If Jack hadn't have gone, I probably would have said Jack the Ripper. I can't remember all the fighters off the top of my head, but it's either, if Jack hadn't have gone, I would have said Jack the Ripper, but maybe it's Rasputin who betrays them and joins the gods. Or maybe it's like the gods try to sort out, like, maybe since Buddha's on your side, we can get one of your guys. Like, maybe you don't have to change anything really, but maybe you could swap it up. Or maybe how I like to think about it, maybe some fights outside the ring. Maybe a god civil war because of this. Maybe like Buddha, like we've been seeing gods argue amongst themselves, and we nearly got a fight at the beginning of Raiden's fight, Raiden and Shiva, but damn, I just wonder, like, I'm thinking that because of this, there's something going on. Like, there was hints at that there's something wrong with the 7 lucky gods, odds that Jack said, and I don't think that you just mentioned something's wrong with this. There's something not quite right about the 7 lucky gods, unless you're hinting at something. Like, the 7 lucky gods, I think, are part of maybe like the enemies of heaven, like maybe the demons and Jotun and Titans and all these other characters from mythology. All the enemies of the gods are going to team up, and some of the normal gods are going to side with them, maybe like Loki, Odin. I'm not thinking Thor. The 7 lucky gods, I think that some guys are not working for the gods properly, are probably going to betray the gods and try to get more power. But Buddha, I don't think is that. I think that if Buddha does win this fight, which I was thinking, oh, Buddha's going to win this fight, whoever he goes up against. Like, my thought was that Buddha was going to win this fight, but now I don't know. Like, if he's going up against a god, he's probably, I don't know, or maybe a human who goes to the god side. I don't know. This just changes everything. I just love this chapter. These chapters. It's amazing. Ugh. I'm probably going to have to stop soon because my throat is really starting to hurt because of all my ranting and yelling and all this type of stuff, because this is amazing. And that's it. Thank you for watching this web manga. I am Agent Manka. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend if you have any friends. And bye.